Hello, friends. Welcome to the channel. If you listen closely to what is happening in the information space, you will notice a very strange anomaly. While the retail crowd on Twitter and TikTok is going crazy over meme coins, while teenagers are burning through their deposits on futures trying to catch a 100x on new AI tokens, Wall Street is frozen in anticipation. In the closed-door offices of New York and Washington, they are discussing only one asset right now. An asset that was trampled in the mud for 5 long years. An asset hated by crypto anarchists. An asset that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission tried to wipe off the face of the earth. Ripple. And the XRP token. Every single day, you flood my DMs with the exact same questions. What is happening with XRP? Why is everyone talking about May? Is it true that BlackRock is secretly buying up coins? What is the Clarity Act? And why have U.S. banks suddenly decided to save Ripple? Are we flying to $100? Listen to me very carefully. Nobody is going to save anyone. There is no charity on Wall Street. On Wall Street, there is only greed and cold calculation. The largest financial giants on the planet are preparing an infrastructural trap for May 2026 that will permanently change the rules of the game in the global economy. And if you don't understand these mechanics right now, you will be left behind. You will become the very liquidity they use to close their positions. Today, I am going to conduct the deepest, most brutal investigation for you. We will dissect the Clarity Act. We will expose BlackRock's plan. We will use a calculator to figure out exactly how the RLUSD stablecoin will force banks to buy XRP off the exchanges. And most importantly, I will give you an exact mathematically justified price prediction for May 2026 and a step-by-step exit strategy. Let's start with the main catalyst that has the entire institutional world looking at their calendars right now. Why May 2026? To understand this, we have to look at U.S. politics. For years, the crypto industry in America lived in a state of primal fear. Gary Gensler and the SEC ruled the market through terror regulation by enforcement. They sued everyone in sight, labeling any token an unregistered security. For Ripple, this hell ended with a court victory. But for traditional banks, that wasn't enough. Understand the psychology of a banker. A banker at the level of Citibank or JP Morgan cannot go to their board of directors and say, "Hey guys, let's use XRP for international transfers because some judge in New York said it's legal." Bankers need a federal law, ironclad, passed through Congress and signed by the president. And here enters the Clarity Act. Right now, in the spring of 2026, this bill is in the final stages of approval in Congress. Its main goal is to definitively classify digital assets once and for all, to establish clear rules of the game for stablecoins and determine the status of utility tokens. The historic vote and the signing of the bill are expected precisely in May 2026. What will happen the exact second the ink on this document dries? What analysts call the Great Decoupling will take place. U.S. banks, which have been sitting on trillions of dollars, afraid to touch blockchain due to the fear of massive fines, will get the green light. For them, the XRP Ledger will officially become a legal, regulated sandbox. This specific law, the Clarity Act, is the key that opens the floodgates for institutional liquidity. May is not just a month on the calendar. It is a deadline by which smart money is obligated to build their positions, and they are doing it right now while you are busy staring at meme coin charts. And here you have a logical question. Okay, the law will pass. Banks will get the green light. But why would they use the volatile XRP token? Doesn't Ripple have its own stablecoin, RLUSD? Friends, every time I hear this argument from crypto influencers, I realize how superficially they think. Let me explain the mechanics hidden behind the scenes. Banks genuinely hate volatility. No sane CFO would put an asset on a bank's balance sheet that could drop 10% in a single day. That is why Brad Garlinghouse and the Ripple team made a genius move. They created RLUSD, a digital $100% backed by short-term U.S. Treasury bills. RLUSD is a Trojan Horse. Ripple goes to a major American bank and says, "You don't need to buy crypto. Here is a legal, transparent digital dollar. Send it to your branches and clients domestically." The bank happily agrees. Hundreds of billions of fiat dollars flow into the Ripple ecosystem. But the global economy doesn't just operate within the US. What happens when this bank needs to send $500 million to a partner in Europe who needs euros, or to Mexico who needs pesos? You cannot just send a digital dollar to a bank in Tokyo and hope it magically turns into yen. You need an exchange market for that. In the old system, SWIFT banks had to keep billions of dollars of frozen, dead capital in each other's accounts, known as Nostro and Vostro accounts, just to facilitate these conversions. This is insanely expensive. In the new system, everything works differently. Inside the XRP Ledger network, there are automated market makers, or AMMs. When a bank needs to convert digital dollars into digital pesos, the algorithm uses XRP as the universal bridge asset and as gas for the network. The algorithm takes RLUSD, instantly uses it to buy XRP in a liquidity pool, beams that XRP to Mexico, and instantly sells it there for Mexican pesos. The entire operation takes 3 seconds. The volatility risk for the bank is absolute zero because the XRP was only in flight for 3 seconds. The bank doesn't need to hold XRP on its balance sheet. But the network needs XRP for this exchange. Liquidity pools need millions of XRP tokens to digest these massive volumes. And with every single conversion, the network burns a microscopic fraction of XRP forever. The RLUSD stablecoin is not killing XRP. It is the primary engine driving its price. The more trillions that are routed through stablecoins on Ripple's rails, the more liquidity is pulled from exchange order books into AMM pools, and the stronger the supply shock becomes. Now let's talk about those who have their fingers on the pulse of this system. The main puppet masters of the modern economy. I am talking about BlackRock, managing over $10 trillion in assets. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, openly stated that the future of finance is the tokenization of every financial asset. In 2026, spot XRP ETFs are already a reality. Many think an ETF is just a way for retail investors to buy crypto through a broker. That is a naive view. An ETF is a vacuum cleaner. When a BlackRock client buys shares of an XRP ETF, BlackRock is legally obligated to go to the open market, buy real physical XRP tokens, and put them into their ultra-secure cold storage in partnership with Coinbase Custody. These coins are removed from free circulation. They are no longer traded on Binance or Bybit. They are locked away. But BlackRock isn't doing this just for fun. BlackRock has its own giant operating system called Aladdin. This system manages risk for funds worth tens of trillions of dollars. And when the Clarity Act gives the green light in May 2026, BlackRock will begin tokenizing its money market funds on public blockchains. They already tested this on Ethereum. But for global, cross-border, instant settlements between financial institutions, they need an asset with absolute legal clarity and speed. When BlackRock and other Wall Street giants combine their ETF vacuum cleaners with the real-world implementation of settlements on the XRPL, something the crypto market has never seen before will happen. Free-floating coins on exchanges will simply run out. Ripple's escrow accounts are practically depleted and no longer suppress the market. Retail investors sold their coins at the bottom a long time ago. An absolute supply shock will occur. Algorithms will have to push the price of XRP exponentially higher, simply to find sellers willing to provide liquidity for billion-dollar bank transfers. And this explosion is scheduled for the exact moment the legislative puzzle pieces finally come together, by May. My God, you might say. Banks, BlackRock, trillions of dollars. That means XRP will definitely hit $1,000 like they say on Twitter. I'm going to be a billionaire with 1,000 coins. Take off your rose-colored glasses. Right now, pour a bucket of ice water over your head. If you walk into May 2026 thinking about 1,000 for XRP, you will become exit liquidity cannon fodder for those exact BlackRock funds. You will lose everything. Let's grab a calculator and use some 5th grade math. There are nearly 100 billion XRP coins in circulation. If one coin is worth $1,000, the market capitalization of the project would be $100 trillion. Friends, the entire global GDP, the money produced by every country on the planet in a year, is about $110 trillion. The total capitalization of all the gold in the world is 16 trillion. Do you seriously think that a single piece of software code, no matter how brilliant, will be worth as much as the entire economy of planet Earth? But quadrillions pass through SWIFT, the fanatics scream. Yes, but we have already discussed the velocity of money. A transaction in XRP takes 3 seconds. A single token doesn't need to cost $1,000 to transfer $1,000. It can transfer $1 1,000 times in a single hour. Coins circulate at lightning speed. So why are they drilling these fairy tales about 1,000 or 500 into your head? The answer is incredibly cynical, so that you never hit the sell button. Smart money, who bought XRP at 40 or 50 cents, will be locking in their multi-billion-dollar profits. They need you, blinded by greed, to sit there holding your coins. Or worse, buying XRP from them at $10, believing it will be worth 1,000 tomorrow. The fanatics will scream, "Hold the line! We are changing the world!" And the whales will quietly hit the sell button right on your heads. And then the crypto winter will start, and your $1,000 will turn into a pumpkin. If $1,000 is a myth, then what is the real, mathematically justified target for XRP for the May explosion of 2026? Let's rely on dry numbers. An adequate, aggressive, yet realistic capitalization for the main circulatory system of Wall Street at the peak of a supercycle is $1 trillion. At that market cap, accounting for locked coins, a fair price for XRP is in the range of $8 to $12. These are fantastic numbers. These are massive multipliers for those who built their positions at the bottom. This is enough to change your life forever. But to actually withdraw this money to your bank account, you must become an emotionless robot. I am giving you the laddering out strategy. Write it down and tape it above your monitor. Step 1. Overcoming the zombie wall. The 3.3 to 4 zone. When the price goes to storm its old all-time high, a meat grinder will begin. Remember, there are hundreds of thousands of exhausted holders in XRP who bought the coin at the highs back in 2018 and 2021. As soon as the price reaches their break-even point, they will massively hit the sell button. There are concrete slabs of resistance on the chart. In this zone, you must sell 20 to 25% of your position. Why? To completely recoup your initial fiat investment. That's it. You are safe. You are playing with free casino chips. Step 2. Institutional breakthrough. The 5 to 6 zone. This is a psychological barrier. Influencers will be screaming about the dawn of a new era. Massive FOMO will kick off on Twitter. The greed index will fly into the sky. You, with a stone face, sell another 30% of your position. You lock in a colossal, pure profit. You buy an apartment. You pay off your loans. Step 3. May Euphoria and the Clarity Act. The 8 to 10 plus zone. If the law passes, and Wall Street officially transitions to XRPL rails, the final parabolic insane impulse begins. Everyone is waiting for $100. You calmly, front-running the crowd's limit orders, unload another 30%. At this stage, you have outplayed 99% of the market. You have squeezed the absolute maximum out of this cycle. Step 4. The moon bag. You have 10 to 15% of your coins left. Keep them on a cold wallet, like a Ledger or Descent. Forget about them. If the matrix breaks, hyperinflation of the dollar spirals out of control, and XRP by some miracle flies to $20, this tiny chunk will make you obscenely rich. If the market crashes into winter after $10, you won't care at all. You already took your millions. Let's draw the line, friends. May 2026 will go down in the history of financial markets. It's not just a month. It is a Rubicon. The Clarity Act, spot ETFs from BlackRock, integration with DTCC, and the launch of the RLUSD stablecoin. This is not a random sequence of news. This is a carefully planned, multi-year chess match played perfectly by Brad Garlinghouse and Wall Street. The 5-year isolation of XRP was merely an accumulation period for smart money. Now the floodgates are opening. The circulatory system of the global economy is moving to new rails, and the gas for those rails is the XRP token. But remember the most important thing. This system is not being built to make you rich. It is being built for multinational corporations. You can only make money on this if you play by their rules. No fanaticism, no believing in 1,000, no leverage or futures. You will simply get wiped out by volatility right before the main launch. Spot only, cold storage only, and strict mathematical profit taking by laddering out. Friends, I am incredibly curious to know if you are ready for May 2026. Do you believe the Clarity Act will be passed and we will see this institutional explosion? Or do you think Wall Street will delay the timeline again? Write your thoughts and your price predictions in the comments. I read absolutely everything and would love to debate with you. If this brutal breakdown ripped off your rose-colored glasses, calmed your nerves, removed the FOMO, and gave you a clear plan of action, smash that like button. For you, it's one click. But for the growth of this channel and the YouTube algorithm, it is a massive help. Let as many people as possible learn the truth before they are sheared by the whales. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. We have the climax of a historic bull market ahead of us, and I will be your guide through the crypto jungle all the way to taking profits. Keep a cool head, control your greed, and remember, wealth goes to those who know how to take their money off the table, while the rest continue to believe in fairy tales. Thanks for watching. I wish you massive profits, nerves of steel, and I'll see you in the next videos. Bye.